Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of success, wealth, and divine alignment, I want to share a truth that has echoed through time, hidden in plain sight. A truth that Florence Scovel Shinn, the spiritual teacher of abundance, taught decades ago. Words have creative power. This is a truth that has been echoed by spiritual masters, mystics, and philosophers for centuries. The words you speak are not idle. They are not meaningless. They are energetic seeds, sent out into the universe to shape, mold, and attract the life you experience. When Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Your word is your wand," she meant it literally. Every sentence you speak becomes a vibration that either draws abundance to you or pushes it away. And in the context of wealth, money, and prosperity, nothing is more critical than what you declare about your financial life. When you speak a sentence like, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," you are doing something far more powerful than making a wish. You are activating spiritual law. You are aligning with the principle that thoughts and words create things. You are signaling to your subconscious mind that wealth is not foreign or difficult. It is natural, present, and constantly available. This single sentence, spoken with belief and repetition, can begin to dissolve decades of lack-based thinking and open the doors to true prosperity. We live in a vibrational universe where everything is energy. Money is energy. Your words are energy. Your beliefs are energy. And the energies you emit become the experiences you attract. Speaking this sentence is not about delusion or fantasy. It is about tuning into the correct frequency of abundance. Just as a radio must be tuned to the correct station to hear music, your mind must be tuned to the vibration of wealth to receive it. When you say, "Money flows to me freely," you are aligning your internal frequency to match the flow of financial ease. You are no longer resisting, you are receiving. But the key to this affirmation is belief. Without belief, the words fall flat. That's why so many people say affirmations without results, because deep down, they don't believe them. However, the beauty of this truth is that belief can be built through repetition. Just like lifting weights builds muscle, repeating powerful words builds new mental patterns. At first, saying, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," may feel strange or untrue. But the more you say it, the more it becomes familiar. The more it becomes familiar, the more the subconscious begins to accept it. And once your subconscious accepts it, it starts to guide your behaviors, decisions, and energy in ways that attract money. Think of your subconscious as a loyal servant. It doesn't argue, it doesn't question, it accepts whatever it is told repeatedly. If you constantly speak words like, "I can't afford this," "I'm always broke," or "money is hard to get," your subconscious takes those commands and goes to work creating a life that matches them. But if you speak words like, "Money flows to me easily," your subconscious starts finding ways to make that true. It begins spotting opportunities, raising your intuition, changing your habits, and magnetizing you to people and circumstances that carry the energy of abundance. There is also a spiritual dimension to this practice. The universe responds to conviction. When you speak wealth with boldness, confidence, and gratitude, you are declaring your trust in the divine. You are showing that you know abundance is your birthright. You are not begging for money. You are claiming it as part of the natural flow of life. Money, when seen rightly, is not a source of stress or greed. It is a tool, a current, a means of expressing love, service, freedom, and expansion. When you speak words of abundance, you are not just asking for money. You are stepping into alignment with a higher purpose. You are saying, "I am ready to be a channel for good in this world." The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," carries within it multiple layers of truth. It affirms your identity as a magnet, meaning you do not chase, you attract. It acknowledges that your abundance is not random or lucky, it is divine, It declares that money flows, not in short bursts, but continuously. And it removes all sense of struggle by affirming that this flow is easy and free. This single sentence, repeated daily, becomes a reset button for your financial mindset. Over time, as this new pattern takes root, your outer reality begins to reflect your inner shift. You may begin to receive unexpected money, new opportunities, ideas for income, promotions, gifts, or assistance. You will start to feel lighter, more open, more in tune with the flow of life. You will start to make wiser financial decisions, not from fear, but from faith. And slowly but surely, your financial life will transform. The sentence you speak has the power to create the life you live. If you want money to find you, you must first become someone who expects it, speaks it, welcomes it, and believes in it. Say the sentence. Not once, but daily. Say it with joy. Say it with belief. Say it until you feel it. Say it until your world begins to rearrange itself to match your vibration. Because when your words align with truth, abundance becomes inevitable. You no longer chase money, money finds you. There is a hidden force that governs what you receive in life, and that force is frequency. Just as radio stations broadcast on different frequencies, the universe operates through energetic vibrations. When it comes to money, the same law applies. You do not attract wealth by merely wishing for it or working endlessly without direction. You attract wealth by aligning your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and especially your words, with the frequency of financial abundance. And one of the simplest yet most potent ways to do this is by speaking the right sentence consistently and with deep conviction. The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is not just a collection of words, it is a tuning device for your energy field. It pulls your entire vibration into harmony with prosperity. People often ask why money feels so hard to get, why no matter how much effort they put in, financial breakthrough remains elusive. The answer is not always found in physical actions, but rather in internal alignment. If you are vibrating at the frequency of stress, worry, scarcity, or self-doubt, then all your actions, even the hard work, are still rooted in lack. This lack mentality pushes money away. But when you speak words that match the vibration of wealth, something miraculous begins to happen. You begin to feel different. You begin to think from a place of fullness, not emptiness. And that change in frequency draws new circumstances, people, and opportunities into your life that reflect that new inner state. Speaking this affirmation daily literally shifts your energetic signature. You are no longer broadcasting poverty, fear, or financial anxiety. Instead, you begin to send out signals of confidence, worthiness, gratitude, and flow. And just as a magnet pulls iron filings toward it, this new vibration pulls money and abundance into your experience. It's not because the words have some mystical power on their own. It's because the words shift your belief, and your belief shifts your energy, and your energy shifts your results. The words you speak act like tuning forks. They resonate with the invisible field of energy around you, and either bring you into harmony with the flow of the universe or create resistance against it. When you say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," you are affirming your connection to a greater source of supply, one that is infinite and intelligent. You are removing the illusion that money is scarce or that you must fight for it. You are stepping into the knowing that abundance is not just possible, it is your spiritual birthright. Money does not come from people, it comes through people. Its true source is the divine, and when you align with that source, money begins to find its way to you effortlessly. Each part of the sentence plays a role in this energetic shift. Declaring yourself as a magnet affirms that you are the attractor, not the pursuer. Recognizing that the abundance is divine places your trust not in unstable external conditions, but in the eternal source that governs all. Describing the flow of money as free, easy, and continuous dissolves old programming around struggle, sacrifice, and unworthiness. It rewrites the subconscious narrative that says money only comes through pain or scarcity. And with enough repetition, this sentence becomes not just a spoken truth, but a lived experience. It's important to remember that the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. You may want more money, but if your energy says, "I'm always broke," or "nothing ever works out for me," then that is the frequency you're sending out, and that is what you will receive in return. But when you change your words, you change your frequency. And when your frequency is abundant, you begin to see doors open that were previously invisible, ideas come to you, inspiration strikes. People who resonate with your energy come into your life to help you, guide you, or open opportunities. This is not coincidence. It is energetic alignment. This sentence is especially powerful when said aloud daily, with emotion and belief. Speak it in the morning when you wake up, and again at night before you sleep. Say it while you're brushing your teeth, while walking, or while journaling. Let it become your mantra. Over time, you will feel lighter. You will notice a shift in how you relate to money, not as something that controls you, but as something you now have influence over. You'll become more relaxed, more intuitive, and more aligned with creative ideas. And most importantly, your trust in the flow of life will grow stronger. You'll move from fear to faith, from lack to love, from control to surrender, and in this space, miracles happen. Speaking the right sentence is not about tricking the universe. It's about tuning yourself to its laws. Just as a plant needs sunlight to grow, your financial life needs the light of aligned frequency. That frequency is cultivated by the words you speak and the feelings they generate. When you say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously. You are claiming your place in the flow of wealth. You are dissolving the illusion of separation between you and the supply. And as your frequency rises, so too will the opportunities, the breakthroughs, and the wealth that you once chased. Now it will chase you. And that is when you'll know you didn't just speak the sentence. You became it. The subconscious mind is the invisible engine behind every choice, every pattern, and every result in our lives. It governs 95% of our behavior, which means that no matter how hard we try on a conscious level to improve our finances, if our subconscious beliefs are rooted in lack, scarcity, or unworthiness, we will continue to sabotage our financial success. That is why reprogramming the subconscious is not just helpful, it is essential, and one of the most effective tools to rewire the subconscious mind is repetition, especially when paired with affirmations that carry emotional and spiritual charge. The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance, money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," serves as a direct command to the subconscious, gradually replacing deeply embedded beliefs of financial struggle with a new foundation of prosperity. Most people live by default programming. From early childhood, they absorb ideas like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "Rich people are greedy," "We can't afford that," and "You have to work hard for everything." These ideas take root in the subconscious and form the belief system that shapes adult financial reality. So even as adults seek more income, better jobs, or business success, those old beliefs quietly sabotage their efforts. The subconscious always wants to stay consistent with what it believes is true. If it believes you are meant to struggle financially, it will create circumstances, thoughts, and emotional reactions that align with that belief. That's why earning more doesn't always mean keeping more. Many people self-sabotage because their internal money blueprint hasn't changed. But here's the power of repetition. When you say something enough times, the subconscious eventually accepts it as true. It doesn't matter if the affirmation doesn't feel real at first. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a truth and a lie. It only responds to consistency and emotion. That's why affirmations work, not because they magically change the outer world, but because they shift the inner world. And once the inner world changes, the outer world must follow. Just as a thermostat resets the room temperature, affirmations reset the inner thermostat of your financial identity. Saying, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," repeatedly rewires your subconscious to believe that wealth is your natural state. It tells the deeper mind that you are not meant to chase money, but to attract it. It corrects years of false programming that said you are unworthy, unlucky, or doomed to struggle. When you affirm that money flows to you freely, easily, and continuously, you are feeding your subconscious mind a new blueprint, one that is based on flow, not force. This subtle but powerful change reshapes your actions, your emotional responses, and your perception of opportunity. You no longer panic when a bill arrives. You no longer feel guilt when you receive money. You no longer reject blessings because you don't feel deserving. Instead, you begin to act like someone who naturally attracts and handles money with confidence and joy. It is important to understand that this kind of reprogramming is a daily practice. The old beliefs were installed over years, so it takes consistent effort to replace them. Speaking the affirmation once or twice will not undo decades of mental conditioning. But speaking it morning and night, writing it down, visualizing it, and feeling it in your body, this is how you overwrite the old code and install a new one. Over time, the affirmation becomes your default internal language. You begin to think differently about money. You begin to expect it, welcome it, and use it wisely. Your subconscious, now aligned with the truth of abundance, begins to attract matching experiences into your life. As your subconscious mind shifts, so do your external circumstances. Suddenly, new ideas for income appear. You notice people and conversations that inspire you. You make better financial decisions. You become more magnetic to opportunities that once seemed out of reach. And none of this happens through force or stress. It happens because the subconscious now believes that abundance is normal, expected, and deserved. It stops fighting abundance and starts supporting it. It no longer holds you back. It pushes you forward. Reprogramming your subconscious with powerful affirmations like this sentence is not about pretending or living in denial. It is about consciously choosing to believe in a higher truth. The truth is that abundance is everywhere, and your ability to receive it depends on your internal state. If your inner world is filled with fear, guilt, and limitation, your outer world will reflect that. But if your inner world is reprogrammed with confidence, faith, and prosperity, then the universe will respond accordingly. The subconscious is always listening. It hears what you repeat the most. And it doesn't just listen to your words, it listens to your tone, your emotion, and your certainty. If you want money to truly find you, you must first find and rewire the mental patterns within you that repel it. Your subconscious mind is the key. It has been programmed for years, perhaps unknowingly, to expect struggle or just enough to get by. But this does not have to be your future. You can speak a new reality into existence, one word, one sentence, one repetition at a time. When you say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," you are not just saying pretty words. You are re-coding your subconscious mind. You are creating new neural pathways. You are declaring a new identity. And once that identity takes root, your life will change. Not by luck, not by chance, but by divine alignment. Speak it, believe it, repeat it, and let your subconscious become the soil in which your wealth takes root and grows. In the journey toward wealth and abundance, one of the most powerful internal shifts you can make is learning to override fear with faith. Fear is one of the greatest energetic blocks to prosperity. It contracts your spirit, narrows your perception, and puts you in survival mode. When you operate from fear, fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you have, fear of not being worthy. You emit a vibration that repels wealth. It doesn't matter how hard you work or how many opportunities you chase. If your internal narrative is fear-based, money will remain elusive. That's why speaking faith-filled words like, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is more than positive thinking. It is spiritual alignment. It is your declaration that you are no longer available for fear. You are choosing faith. You are choosing to believe in a reality where the flow of money is not only possible, but natural. The thing about fear is that it masquerades as logic. It tells you to play small. It urges you to avoid risk. It warns you against trusting too deeply in something you can't see. But fear is not truth. It is a story. It's a mental habit formed by years of conditioning, past failures, and inherited beliefs. Faith, on the other hand, is not a fantasy. It is a higher truth. Faith is the knowing that even when things don't look perfect on the outside, the universe is still working in your favor. Faith is what Florence Scovel Shinn called the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith sees beyond your bank account. Faith trusts the invisible process. And when you speak faith-filled words with conviction, you align with the very energy that creates miracles. Each time you speak the sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," you are replacing fear-based inner dialogue with a faith-based one. Instead of saying, "I don't know how I'll pay my bills," you are saying, "I trust that money is on its way." Instead of repeating, "I never have enough," you are affirming, "Money flows to me freely and continuously." These words carry power because they are rooted in spiritual law, not emotional reaction. Fear speaks from past experience. Faith speaks from divine truth, and as you train yourself to speak words of faith, you begin to shift the entire atmosphere of your life. It's important to realize that fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. One must dominate. So every time fear arises, and it will, you must make a conscious decision to choose a new narrative. Speaking this sentence is one way to do that. It becomes your anchor when the storm of doubt rolls in. It becomes your shield when financial worry tries to invade your peace. It becomes your sword when fear whispers that you are not enough. And every time you speak it, you grow stronger. Not because your circumstances instantly change, but because your energy does. And energy is the precursor to manifestation. The reason fear often wins is because it has been reinforced for so long. Many people have spent decades repeating the same fear-based mantras. Life is hard. Money doesn't come easy. There's never enough to go around. These phrases are deeply embedded in the subconscious and are constantly affirmed by the media, society, and even loved ones. But no matter how long fear has been your default, it can be replaced, not with force, but with frequency. You override fear by consistently speaking faith, especially in the face of evidence that says otherwise. That's when your words carry the most power, when they are spoken not out of comfort, but out of choice. You choose to speak prosperity when your bank account says otherwise. You choose to affirm flow when the bills pile up. That is not delusion, that is spiritual mastery. Faith-filled words rewire your brain. They generate new neural pathways, reduce stress hormones, and activate a part of your mind called the reticular activating system, RAST, which begins to filter in evidence that matches your new belief. Suddenly, you start to notice opportunities you missed before. You feel more confident in your decision-making. You become more magnetic to success. This is not coincidence. It is the fruit of consistent faith-based speaking. You become what you repeatedly affirm, not just because the words are magic, but because they shape your mindset, your behavior, and your vibration. And when your vibration shifts, the universe responds. You begin to attract experiences that match your elevated frequency. You meet people who offer support, resources, or ideas. You stumble upon solutions that once seemed hidden, money begins to show up in expected and unexpected ways. It's not always dramatic or instant, but it is real and undeniable. Faith opens the door, and the spoken word is the key. Fear is a liar that keeps you stuck in the illusion of lack, while faith is the bridge to abundance. If you want money to find you, you must first stop pushing it away with fear-based beliefs and language. Start speaking faith, even if your voice trembles. Start affirming abundance, even when things look uncertain. The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is your tool, your guide, and your reset button. Speak it daily, speak it boldly, and speak it from your heart. Because the more you speak faith, the more fear loses its grip. And when faith becomes your foundation, abundance becomes your reality. Fear may knock, but faith will answer. And when it does, money will find you. One of the most overlooked yet powerful aspects of creating wealth is emotion. Most people think success comes from logic, planning, or even luck. But the truth is, energy is what drives outcomes, and emotion is energy in motion. It is the emotional charge behind your words that gives them life and makes them magnetic. Speaking the sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," can be a transformational habit, but only when it is filled with real feeling. Without emotion, words are flat. They don't connect with your subconscious, and they don't carry a signal strong enough to shift your vibration. When you say something with deep feeling, whether that feeling is gratitude, joy, excitement, or certainty, you amplify the creative power of your words and send a strong frequency to the universe that commands attention. Emotion is the bridge between thought and manifestation. It is what turns an idea into a felt experience, and a felt experience into a lived reality. You can say affirmations all day, but if you say them while feeling doubt, frustration, or fear, those emotions will override your words. Your subconscious responds to the dominant feeling behind the statement more than the statement itself. If you say, "Money flows to me easily," but your heart is heavy with anxiety, the subconscious picks up on the anxiety, not the affirmation. But when you say it with joy and confidence, with a smile and a sense of peace, you create a resonance that begins to move things in your favor. Your energy shifts, and reality starts to follow. This is why it's not just important to say the right words, but to feel them. Imagine a magnet. A weak magnet has a small pull, but a powerful magnet pulls everything in its field. When you speak affirmations with emotion, you strengthen your magnetic field. You draw money, people, resources, and ideas to you in a way that feels almost effortless. You move from hoping to knowing, and that shift changes everything. The energy of knowing, that calm inner certainty that what you desire is already yours, is far more potent than desperation or need. Desperation repels. Confidence attracts. That's why gratitude is such a powerful emotion to combine with affirmations. Gratitude has one of the highest energetic frequencies. When you speak your affirmation with a sense of thankfulness, not for something that's coming, but as if it has already arrived, you create a state of spiritual receiving. The universe responds faster to those who are already grateful, already open, already vibrating at the level of the thing they want. So when you say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," don't say it like a request. Say it like a celebration. Feel it in your body. Smile when you say it. See yourself living it. That feeling creates alignment, and alignment creates results. Your emotions also act as feedback. When you speak your affirmation and feel uplifted, hopeful, or empowered, that's your inner guidance confirming that you're in the right vibration. If you feel resistance, heaviness, or disbelief, it doesn't mean you've failed. It just means there's work to do. It means your current emotional state is not fully aligned with your affirmation, and that gives you valuable insight. You can then take time to breathe, visualize, or recall moments of abundance in your life to reconnect with the emotion you want to feel. Over time, this process becomes easier. Your emotions begin to naturally follow your words, and eventually, they align without effort. There is also great power in anchoring affirmations to physical movement. For example, when you say, "Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," and you combine that with a gesture, a deep breath, a stretch, a fist pump, or even dancing, you further imprint the affirmation into your nervous system. Your body remembers what your mind feels. This creates a full body affirmation experience that activates not just your mental state, but your emotional and physical states too. The more senses you involve, the deeper the affirmation is embedded. Children are often told that actions speak louder than words. And while that may be true in some settings, in the realm of manifestation, feelings speak louder than anything. Your emotional state is a magnet, constantly pulling in people, situations, and resources that match it. If you feel rich emotionally, you will attract the people and situations that reflect that richness. If you feel poor, even with money in your hand, poverty will find its way back into your life. Emotion creates momentum. It tells the universe how serious you are. It's the fire that fuels manifestation. In the end, you can't fake emotion, but you can cultivate it. You can recall moments where you felt empowered, grateful, excited, or safe. You can connect to those feelings, and then speak your affirmation from that place. That's when your words have power. That's when you're not just repeating something. You're embodying it. You're living it before it shows up in the physical, and that's what draws money in faster and with less resistance. Saying, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is a powerful practice. But the real magic happens when you infuse this statement with genuine emotion. Let your words carry the energy of joy, trust, and gratitude. Speak it with the same feeling you would have if the money was already in your hands. Because when you speak from that place, you collapse time. You become the embodiment of abundance now, not in the future. And the universe, which is always responding to your vibration, will move mountains to meet your emotional frequency. So don't just speak the words. Feel them, live them, breathe them, and money, by the spiritual law of attraction, will find you. One of the most underestimated forces in the manifestation of wealth is consistency. It's easy to say something once or twice and hope for quick results. But real transformation, especially the kind that rewires belief systems and draws money toward you like a magnet, only comes through repetition. The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is a declaration of power, but it becomes effective only when spoken regularly. Consistency builds momentum. It signals to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you are serious, intentional, and committed to a new reality. It turns your affirmation into your identity. When you repeat a thought long enough, it becomes a belief. When that belief becomes strong enough, it shapes your emotions, decisions, and behaviors. Over time, this becomes your reality. What you say daily becomes what you think naturally, and what you think consistently becomes what you experience physically. This is why so many people, despite good intentions and big dreams, never see results. They don't follow through. They give up after a few days, doubting the process because they haven't yet seen results in the outer world. But just like planting a seed in soil, change begins invisibly. You don't dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. You water it, you trust the process, and eventually, the results show. Affirmations are seeds of consciousness. Each time you speak, "Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," you are watering that seed. You are reinforcing the neural pathways in your brain that believe in abundance. You are rewriting your identity from someone who chases money to someone who attracts it. You are strengthening your emotional connection to wealth, replacing the fear of lack with the faith of overflow. But just like going to the gym, One workout won't change your body. It's the repetition, the daily movement, that brings visible results. The same is true with your inner world. This is especially important because most people have years, even decades, of deeply rooted beliefs about money that contradict abundance. They've heard and repeated statements like, "Money is hard to come by," "I never get ahead," "Rich people are selfish," or "I'll never have enough." These beliefs are like software programs running silently in the background. Speaking your new affirmation once or twice cannot override all that programming. But saying it every day, multiple times a day, starts to chip away at the old foundation and lay down a new one. Consistency rewires the mind. It replaces doubt with trust, and eventually, your outer reality begins to reflect your inner shift. There's also a psychological shift that occurs when you make a practice consistent. You begin to trust yourself. You feel more grounded, more clear, more connected to your vision. You become less reactive to temporary challenges and more focused on the bigger picture. When you wake up every morning and say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," you are reminding yourself of who you are. You are starting the day with intention. And when you repeat it before bed, you are programming your subconscious to keep working for you, even while you sleep. Your mind doesn't shut off when you rest. It absorbs your final thoughts and continues processing them. That's why consistent affirmations are most powerful when placed at the beginning and end of the day. You are literally training your brain to expect abundance. But consistency isn't just about the number of times you say something. It's about the energy you bring to it. It's not helpful to mindlessly repeat the sentence while scrolling your phone or worrying about something else. Instead, take a few moments to be present. Breathe. Say the words slowly and deliberately. Feel the meaning of each word. Visualize what it would look and feel like if those words were already true. This deepens the impact. When you show up with full energy, even for just 2 minutes, it does more than hours of distracted repetition. Quality and consistency together create power. Some days you'll feel excited, full of hope and faith. Other days, you may feel resistance or fatigue. That's normal. What matters most is showing up anyway. Saying the affirmation even when you don't feel like it. That's where the transformation happens. Not in perfection, but in persistence. Each time you speak it, you are choosing your vision over your doubt. You are choosing faith over fear. And that choice adds up. Day after day, you build a new reality, not through force, but through frequency. Eventually, something incredible happens. The words you once had to consciously repeat become natural. You find yourself thinking about abundance without trying. You start making choices that reflect your new beliefs. You walk with more confidence. You handle money with more ease. Opportunities begin to appear. You find unexpected sources of income. You draw in clients, gifts, or lucky breaks. This isn't magic. It's the natural result of energetic alignment built through consistency. What was once an affirmation becomes a belief. What was once a belief becomes your reality. If you want to attract lasting wealth into your life, you must embrace consistency as your ally. Speaking, "I am a magnet for divine abundance." Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously. Once or twice isn't enough. You must say it until it becomes part of you. Until it feels like truth. Until your subconscious accepts it. Until your entire being begins to reflect it in thought, emotion, and action. Because the universe doesn't just respond to what you say, it responds to what you say consistently. So keep speaking. Keep showing up, keep affirming your abundance. And one day soon, you'll look around and realize, money didn't just find you, you became the person it was always seeking. The most profound transformation happens when you begin to truly embody the identity of someone who effortlessly attracts wealth. The sentence, "I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously," is not merely a positive statement. It is an identity shift. The more you speak it, believe it, and feel it, the more you begin to become the type of person money is looking for. You move from trying to attract wealth, from a place of lack to embodying abundance as a way of life. And when that shift happens, the entire energy field around you changes. You begin to operate differently, not from desperation, but from confidence, not from fear, but from alignment. Becoming someone money is drawn to doesn't start with your external circumstances. It starts within. It starts when you decide that you are no longer a victim of scarcity, no longer a person who waits for luck, no longer someone who feels unworthy of wealth. It begins when you claim your role as a co-creator of your reality and accept that money isn't something far away. It's something that naturally flows to you because of who you are and how you choose to think, speak, and act. You stop chasing. You stop doubting, and you start living as though wealth is your natural state. This shift is not about pretending. It's not about faking confidence or acting as if you're wealthy while ignoring reality. It's about choosing new thoughts, new habits, and new self-perceptions that reflect the truth of who you really are. When you say, "I am a magnet for divine abundance," you are declaring that your nature is magnetic, not passive, that you attract, you don't beg, you radiate value, vision, and spiritual certainty. The divine part of the affirmation reminds you that your source is not limited to a job, a paycheck, or an economic system. Your supply is infinite, and your connection to it is unbreakable. Money responds to clarity, confidence, and purpose. When you believe in your worth, when you speak with conviction, when you act with alignment, money flows toward you. People sense your energy. Opportunities find you. You stop blocking the flow with self-doubt, hesitation, or fear of judgment. You start making moves that align with your highest self. Whether it's starting a business, asking for a raise, investing in yourself, or simply being more open to receiving, you begin to take actions that someone who is already abundant would take. This is the key. You stop trying to get rich and instead become someone who naturally attracts wealth. This transformation isn't something that happens overnight. It's a daily decision to live in the vibration of abundance. You speak the words not just out of habit, but as a declaration of who you are becoming. And over time, those declarations become beliefs. Those beliefs become behaviors. Those behaviors become results. The words you speak shape your identity, and your identity determines what you attract. You begin to radiate a kind of energy that is irresistible to abundance. You don't just repeat the sentence, you start to live it. As you step into this new identity, everything changes. You begin to expect good things to happen. You notice money coming from unexpected sources. You attract supportive people who mirror your new mindset. You feel more at peace when handling finances. You make decisions from a place of wisdom instead of fear. This isn't because the world suddenly changed. It's because you did. You became the person who no longer repels money through anxiety, guilt, or limitation. You became someone who understands that wealth is not just about numbers in a bank account. It's a reflection of how deeply you value yourself and how clearly you trust the divine flow of life. And perhaps most importantly, as you live from this new self-concept, you stop measuring your worth by your past or current bank balance. You understand that money is a reflection, not a source of your value. When you begin to feel wealthy before the evidence shows up, that's when the evidence arrives. When you believe you are a magnet for abundance, you start attracting opportunities, ideas, and people who resonate with that belief. The outside must always mirror the inside, and when the inside changes, the outside cannot stay the same. This is the final stage of the transformation, when saying the sentence is no longer about hope or affirmation. It becomes a truth you live by. It becomes part of your belief system, your energy, your actions. And at that point, money doesn't need to be forced, begged for, or feared. It finds you. It flows toward the clarity of your self-worth, the strength of your belief, and the openness of your energy field. You become the person money naturally flows to, not just once, but continuously. Speaking, I am a magnet for divine abundance. Money flows to me freely, easily, and continuously, consistently, and with emotion is not just a technique, it's a path to becoming someone entirely new. Someone who no longer chases wealth, but attracts it through alignment. Someone who lives with the certainty that abundance is not just available, it is inevitable. This journey is not about external transformation alone. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already lives in wealth, consciousness, who believes without fear, who gives without fear, and who receives without guilt. When you become that person, money will not be something you pursue. It will be something that pursues you. And that is when you'll understand. The sentence didn't just change your mindset, it changed your identity. And your identity is what truly magnetizes abundance.